and there are three that bear witness in the earth, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and these three agree in one. What he's saying is, when you hear the gospel, which is Jesus came by water and blood, Almighty God became a man, had life in his spirit, born in a body capable of sinning, but never sinned, died as our substitute, rose again in that same body, now glorified. That's the gospel. When you hear it and accept it, when it says these three agree in one, is the split second you hear and accept that gospel and believe it in your heart, and the split second you decide to pray that sinner's prayer, you go from death to life. In other words, this spirit in you, the born-again spirit, is bearing witness with that gospel, and at the rate you bear witness with it and confess it and believe it, you're transformed to it. You go from death to life. So now forever, those three things are locked together. Your born-again spirit bears witness that Jesus came by water and blood, because that's what born your spirit again. Your born-again spirit bears witness that Almighty God became a man, born with life in his spirit inside a body from Mary, capable of sinning but never sinned, died and rose again in that same body, now glorified, and since he walked righteous in his body, we should walk righteous in ours. Your spirit bears witness with that. And the reason 1 John is writing this whole book is if you start to excuse yourself to sin, what you're doing is you're denying that Jesus came by water and blood. And what happens is these three agree in one. But now if you're trying to change that gospel story to somehow excuse yourself to sin, you're unwittingly destroying your own born-again life, because these three are one. If you tried to change the fact that Jesus came by water and blood, that's what your born-again spirit bears witness with. But if you change that, then there's no longer the born-again spirit bearing witness with that. You've gone back to spiritual death, and you're bearing witness with a false gospel, a false Jesus.